boy EJ, bro, the new age Chip Skylark, bro. I'm here with my nigga Flex.
Yeah.
Here with my other nigga Nick, bro.
What's good, y'all?
Bro, on some real shit, bro. We just wanted to talk to y'all motherfuckers about relationships, bro. Because today's age, bro, there's too many people that's together that's not in love, bro. And there's always that somebody that they in love with and they not together with it, bro. What you think about that shit, Flex?
I feel like in any relationship, my nigga, there's always gonna be that motherfucker you gonna have feelings for. Not that you necessarily like and want to get with, but you have feelings, like strong feelings that you like them type shit. You feel me?
Bro, some real, bro. That's some true shit, bro.
Nah, fuck that shit, nigga.
Oh, bro. But real life, bro, like, we human, bro, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know we human, but like at the same time, bro, about human life is progression, bro. I feel like I progressed past those type of feelings. Honestly, like it's to the point now where like if there's one person I like, bro, I will remain committed. And yes, you can develop feelings for someone else, but like usually you really have to take a look at yourself to see if those feelings are true, because there's no way you could commit to someone but let somebody else take that away from you.
Bro, I feel that, bro. On some real shit. That's why I said we human, bro. Because at the end of the day, we can be committed to one person. We could be faithful to one person. We could be in a relationship with one person. But if there's somebody you naturally vibe and click with, bro, you can't sit here and lie to yourself and say that you're not feeling that person.
But okay, you can talk about vibes and shit, but at the end of the day, you can't call every single vibe a feeling. Like, I fell for this shit a lot because in high school, bro, I vibed with like a lot of girls, and like I caught feelings way too fast. And you know, when they told me, it was like, you know, when I told them, it was like, whoa, hold up, wait a minute, I don't really know you like that type of thing. And like, you know, it's clipped after that. I know that was high school and shit, but you know, I start to see the same shit in college. And like, honestly, like, you really like somebody, if you really like someone and you want to, you know, you want to not think about it, bro, you want to go off feeling, bro, I promise you, like, when you in that high adrenaline state for a while, bro, it's going to last for a while, but then reality going to start to set in. Like, especially if, like, you know, y'all haven't been that way, like, for a while, and like you've been intimate with your girl, and like, but like, you know, you already fucking up if you being intimate with both of them at the same time.
So to speak on that shit, it's like, bro, there be sometimes with like, you right, like vibes is different. I have vibes with different females all the times, and they don't be romantic per se, but I feel like sometimes there's that one person that you just really fuck with, and you can't help how you feel about that person. It's just like, they're gonna make them, like, them feelings you can't help. I feel like that when you try to deny it is when you're being dishonest, right, bro?
You're being dishonest with yourself. And having them feelings is okay, just don't act on them feelings, you feel me? Because you're human, you're a human being, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's my 2 cents about it.
Right, for the whole thing, I just feel like it depends on how you go about it, bro. Like, sometimes I feel like that's how people fuck up. Me, I fucked up before and made mistakes like that. But it's like, for me, the vibe is like, with that person, it gets strong because of like that connection you have with them. Yes, it is your choice to how you go about it and act on it, but I feel like completely denying those feelings is what's wrong and what causes most toxicity problems in relationships.
That's fine and okay to say, because yes, I understand that, you know, not going for it is tempting, but I feel like waiting, I feel like patience is a game that you have to play here. Like, patience is key in situations like this, because you never know what's going to happen. Just as much as we're human and we're able to feel, other people can feel too. They might not have the wherewithal to like act on their feelings as we might. You know, I mean, I just practice self-control because I weigh like different things. I gotta realize that, you know, as humans, like, we can't harm each other because we know how we work and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's like a sociopathic thing, but you know, you just gotta think about the decisions. Like, you gotta think before you act, and not a lot of people do that shit.
Man, that's some real shit though, because sometimes, bro, I just feel like the actions where all the problems develop, bro. But I firmly am starting to believe that in every relationship, there's always somebody with the spare key, bro. In my opinion, I feel like there's always somebody that's as real as the person, or they have something that you're looking for, or something that you're missing, bro. And I feel like that's how shit just gets brought about, and that's what causes problems. But if you settle for what you have, and you're grateful and you appreciate what you have, you won't really have those problems. But if you always feel like there's something missing that's important that you're missing, that's where that temptation comes into play.
Okay. For real. Like, this is why this is my take on this. Like, yeah, someone, you know, the spare key thing, bro. I really feel like that's bullshit, bro. Because I wouldn't let somebody get to me like that. Like, you know, someone else, even though, you know, it may be persuasive and shit, but then, you know, again, thinking about every single choice. Yeah,
what about your partner though? It might not have to be you, but what about your partner having somebody with the spare key?
Now, I would appreciate it if my partner would communicate that with me. You know, I would be cool. I'd be like, yo, it's just feelings. But, like, you know, why would you continue talking? Would you want to jeopardize what we have? Like, honestly, I'll have a conversation right then and there, bro. Because at that point, you want to be single, you want to go for this guy, you want to risk it all. Like, you want to risk all that I can give you for him, that something that might be temporary.
But what if to that person is not temporary? What if to that person what they have is something that you're lacking, and is something that's very important to them as it comes to relationships? How would you handle that, Flex?
Man, honestly, let them go, man. It's not worth your time. If somebody really feels that way about another person, you should let them go and let them be. Because it's your well-being and your mind over somebody else's well-being. And I'll worry about myself before I worry about somebody else.
Right. Before Nick get back into it, bro, I say in the relationship, bro, you can't count on somebody else to make you happy, bro. You both gotta be happy as individuals, and you gotta combine your happiness to have a real relationship. But most of my relationships, people depended on me to make them happy, and sometimes I had to worry about myself, bro. There was stuff that I wanted to do that makes me happy that sometimes people get upset about. But I feel like when it comes to another person, if they understand that you catch a vibe with them, and you have a mutual agreement with somebody, and that's where feelings start to develop a little bit, at least in my personal experience.
Okay, so me, I'm a very time-oriented person. Don't waste my time, and I won't waste your time. Why, in the first place, if that is going on, if you realize that it's going on, like, why would you be in a relationship in the first place? If you have these unresolved feelings, then why be in a relationship in the first place? Why build up something that seems promising, that all you have to do is put the work in? Like, honestly, you're not giving your 100% if you giving somebody else, like, you know, what's supposed to be undivided attention to them. You know, it's kind of not selfish, but it's more like, you know, if you're cognizant that you're giving somebody else attention when somebody else is supposed to be receiving all your attention, then, you know, you kind of see why people are the way they are in relationships.
I feel like people settle and are lazy and don't want to put the effort into finding what they truly have, because it may be scary to them. People don't want to open up. People are afraid, insecure. That's what, like, most of like faulty relationships kind of start falling apart. You know what I'm saying? And
Man, to speak on that, I feel like what Nick is saying is true. You wouldn't be giving your 100%, but I feel like majority of these feelings come from the lacking of your partner. And like I said, coming from my personal experiences, whenever I developed or started having feelings for somebody else, I did communicate with that person, but I let them know as to why. I feel as though they wasn't trying to be on the level that I was on. It doesn't mean that I don't care about my partner or want to be with them. It's just that I feel as though they wasn't giving me the amount of effort that I was getting and giving to them, and they wasn't on the same level, and they eventually, I feel like I outgrew that person. But man, part 2 coming soon, bruh. Part 2 coming soon. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel the relationships are in this generation.